a very powerful response.
Because like,
Wait a minute.
Because if I show up and if I come and you just show up and like, oh, okay, I'm here. Now what? Oh, you about to go in your pocket? Yeah, that's what I was expecting. But definitely, cash equates to time. I mean, I work 40 plus hours a week, so my time is very important, especially when it comes to family.
As you get older, it gets more valuable.
It gets more, exactly. So it's kind of like this. I'm not trying to be, trying to put somebody off, but hey, look, this is the time that I have. Appreciate that time. If you blow me off, just know I'm gonna feel some kind of way about it.
Burn my money.
I'm like, you can throw my money in the fireplace. I'm watching it burn, and I already paid a gas bill. I don't need to have a fireplace. You know what I'm saying? So just appreciate me, appreciate my time, appreciate what I have to offer. Even if it's not cash, even if it's not, we going out, 7-course meals, and then later we going to a hotel and all this big stuff, even if it's not that, just appreciate my time. Hey, look, Netflix, movie night, bottled wine, appreciate that. I'm fine on any level. Just cash equals time. It's just that simple to me.
Eli, do you have anything about your book about finances and polyamory families?
The families tend to organize it a few different ways. Some of the larger and stable families will organize themselves into limited liability corporations sometimes and organize a legal structure for the family. Sometimes they have buy-in if they have property or something, then someone is becoming a member of the family, they'll have a certain financial threshold of, okay, so this is what you should put in for the houses and the cars and the furniture and everything, and then you're an equal member, you've got, a share of the family. And sometimes people fight about it.
If you feel like you have to have a buy-in to a relationship, that would probably make me feel some kind of way. I would fight.
Or sometimes they fight if it's not that clear.
Stock options.
Invested in 5 years.
Right. So you gotta look at the bigger scheme of things.
It's like the prenuptial agreements where after you've invested so many years, you get so much money. I mean, I guess that makes sense. Yeah, if it's not clear, I can imagine the fights that would go down if it's not written. But maybe I don't know. I think people probably stray away from this. Some people stray away from it because they feel like it takes some of the heart out of it.
Yeah.
Some questions?
So how did you guys, are you guys out as poly? And if so, how did that work? Were you in a relationship when that occurred? Was it a monogamous relationship? And if so, what happened there?
I came out on Facebook.
If it's not on Facebook, it never happened.
I wrote a note to my friends and family explaining the fact that I was not going to hide the fact that I love multiple women, and I tagged everybody in it, and that was what it was. Most of my family still hasn't really responded. They're used to me being weird anyway, so now it's just like the new weird thing I'm doing.
My family just said it the other day. Why are you so weird? I said, you gave birth to me. But I did, I got divorced, and then I started just dating, and then I just automatically, and my friends that know me were just like, makes sense. Follows suit with his philosophy that, about freedom, so it was just a natural fit. It wasn't a shock. Like I said to my kids, it was not a shock to my kids. My daughter asked my secondary how she could date a couple, and my secondary said, your dad doesn't lie to me. that, and then my daughter, you know, she gets that, she knows. So that was the only question my family really had.
Are you allowed, or?
We're kind of half in, half out. Like literally half in, half out. I mean, because of all our friends just happen to be poly, or swingers, or open relators, or just open-minded people in general. We don't have to come out to them. Some of my friends, I probably have a whopping 2 vanilla friends, and then they're only kind of vanilla. You know,
Swirly.
they're swirly. You know, you're not really vanilla if you're a bisexual female, and then you came out to me too. It doesn't count. But my mom does not know. My dad doesn't know. I'll tell my dad. I'm pretty sure he'll be fine. As a matter of fact, I have a sneaky suspicion that he might be a little open too. I mean, because he has been previously just, you know, halfway open. You know, the whole cheating thing. My mom will have a much harder time dealing with this, but I've been kind of spoon feeding her stuff every once in a while. My brother and my sister know. My youngest brother, he doesn't know, but he probably could care less. But my brother and my sister know, and they're supportive. My sister, she better be, because I was supportive of her when she came out. She's masculine identified female, and she came out when she was 16. So yeah, she kind of is on the fence of, I think she's still kind of has a little paranoia about being poly, even though she's totally poly too. But pretty much I think we don't have to hide because of the people who are around us. Family members, if they ask, I'm not lying. I absolutely refuse to lie. Some of them have hinted. You know, that's real cute, you know. I had one, my cousin's husband, he'll drop the word open quite a bit and put the emphasis on open. I'm like, just say it, you know, but they, unfortunately, people like to talk and not direct. They don't direct it to us. They like to talk around and about.
Yeah.
Gotta give gossipers something to gossip about.
Oh, they found it.
Something good.
Yep, I'm gonna give it to them. But,
I mean, I really don't really talk much. If you ask, I'm gonna tell you. It's really that simple. If you ask, I'm gonna tell you. If you assume, keep assuming. It's okay. Yeah, it's your brain. I mean, I can't change it for you. But, I mean, if you ask, I'm going to tell you.
What about at work and professionally?
Right. That's what I was gonna say.
Work and professional. I don't say anything at all unless you ask. I mean, if you come out and, hey, look, you know, I noticed you've been talking about some things or whatever. Now, that's kind of come about. Someone had a conversation about it.
your girlfriend visits you at the job, you might have to say something.
Well, luckily that hasn't happened yet. But,
Remember?
oh yeah. Yeah, you're right. But
Like I can't keep track.
Right.
But I mean, it was kind of hinted around in a conversation, and we talked back and forth about it every so often. You know, I get a question about it here and there. We conversate about it, but it never goes any further than that. You know, but explaining who this other woman is, that's you know. That's somebody that you should concern yourself about. That has nothing to do with work. That has nothing to do with your salary and what you are supposed to be doing. So, but that's how I view that.
I'm a musician, so musicians are a bunch of closet polyamorous anyway. I've only actually, I think I come out to two of them. One of them acted weird. The other one is a really close friend of mine, and I totally suspected her of being poly for years, but she told me that was how she was feeling, but she's scared to talk to her husband. So I was hoping she would kind of want to talk more. She did say she wanted to talk more about it, but like I said, musicians, vocalists, they're a bunch of poly, open love people. They just don't openly.
They might sing about it.
They sing about it. I've got 2 lovers and I'm so ashamed. Yes.
And I would say that for me, I'm open on a case by case basis. I have shared some things at work with some coworkers that I felt close to, but I work in a place that I find that they're pretty judgmental about our clients, and so how I see them treat our clientele tells me that I wouldn't share about my own personal life. And I also was brought up that personal life is separate from professional life, so navigating that is really challenging in certain industries because people like to share everything, and if you don't share, then you're a bitch or something's wrong with you. So it becomes really challenging with that. But I will say that I'm more open to my family because they were open to me and asking me, like they knew. And I just recently had an opportunity of visiting my dad's side of the family for Thanksgiving. And as a young person, I was estranged from that side of the family. And my dad has 10 brothers and sisters, so it's a large family. And every little, card table conversation, there was at least one conversation about, I have another lover or someone else. And I thought, wow, maybe this is, cultural. It's in my family. They drop that. Now, I think a lot of their behaviors are non-consensual, so that's unfortunate. But one of the lessons that I got was not, don't bring home multiple lovers. It was more about, don't bring home a white man. So I decided I would bring home 2 white women instead. But for me, coming out to my mom was that Christmas is a really important holiday for us, for her, and therefore for me, and not for the religious aspect, but like my mom, she becomes like Martha Stewart in some really weird ways, and it's really entertaining to see, and it's lovely to see her express her love in that way through food and gifts and the fanfare. So it's not about the religious aspect of the holiday. And I was dating 2 women at the same time who either were far away from their families or didn't have a connection to their families. And I thought, I love you so much, I would share this with you. And so I brought them both home. And that was the most amazing experience, to see my mom love them through her way of expressing love, and to see how we navigated, like, who sleeps where and what do you do, and who sleeps where in your mom's house. It's kind of weird, trying to figure that piece out. But that's how I came out to my mom. And I got custody of my sister's son when he was a teenager, and he was living with me, and one of my partners was away a lot. And I noticed that he would change names and pronouns and talk about my other girlfriend in certain ways that I was like, what's happening here? What does he think is going on? And when I had a talk with him, he told me that my sister, his mother, she had a lot of different lovers, but they were not consensual, and there was a lot of secrets in that household. And so he always had to lie that someone was going out the back door while someone was going out the window and someone was coming to the front door. And I told him, I said, that's not your job. You're an adolescent. My job is to keep you safe and not to make you have to go through those psychological hoops. And so though, partner B over here might not necessarily want to hear about partner A all the time, if they were over, then you can say so-and-so is over. And that helped me to feel like, okay, I have to be out in those terms for him. And that makes sense because I didn't want him to have cognitive dissonance in terms of how he is communicating with people and then feeling like it's okay to lie. So out of necessity, I think that I've come out of necessity of, this is how I express love, and I want to share this with you and my family as one way of doing it. So I'm going to be out, as well as trying to raise a child in that way.
Interesting, about coming out, that just thinking about this, being an atheist all my life, I never really worried about coming out as any, I'm already different than most people, and just accepted that. And people that didn't accept my differences, I go away, you know. And so, but with work and something that I experienced, I helped organize a group called Fellowship of Reason about 15 years ago in Atlanta. And so we were getting all these atheists that were looking for a church kind of community is what it was. Fellowship of Reason was called at that time a moral community. So I was discovering morality, and atheist doesn't mean anything, right? It doesn't mean, like you said, you gotta believe in something. So atheist doesn't mean anything. So what do I believe in? I believe in myself, and I believe in that there's a morality for me to discover, and that's a spiritual path. So the reason I brought that up is I was amazed at how many alternative people, gay and bisexual and things, that were out to their family on that, but wouldn't ever tell them they were an atheist. It was like, yeah, at least you're not an atheist. That amazed me, and I was like, what are you afraid of? Tell them. What are they gonna do? I mean, when my kids were little, and they got, they self-identify as atheists. I didn't force them on it, but they were free to choose. And when the topic in school always came up where they were pushing religion on the kids, even though they're not supposed to, I never had to call the principal and say, force your teachers to shut up. My kids said, hey, you want to talk about morality? Is that what you brought up, your religion? You want to talk about morality? Let's talk about morality. No. We don't want to talk about morality. We want to just push our religion on you. We just want to feel comfortable because we want to feel like you're the same as us. So, I guess it's a tribal wiring. You like people that are the same, and feel comfortable with that. So my kids learned that they can talk about religion without being offended, and and it empowered them.
So is there any burning questions? I kind of want to wrap up because Eli here is going to sign books if you all want to purchase the Polyamorists Next Door. But we're coming close on time. So does anybody have any burning questions that they need answered by our panel? No?
I don't see smoke.
You said that's yours? Okay. Make sure, do you have your, well, first of all, I would like to, yeah, they should have them, right? Somewhere.
I didn't bring any to a bookstore.
We do have some copies of the Polyamorous.
Well, thank you so much for participating in this panel. I really appreciate you all coming to talk about your personal lives. And I feel like we should probably do this again. I feel like it's such a great turnout, and maybe we can, if you want to send me questions ahead of time, we can get those out ourselves. Thanks again. Can you give a hand here?
And thank you, Marla, for organizing.
Yes, thank you. And if you haven't yet donated your food,